Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Biggest Podcast. My name is Adam Greenberg, one of the co-founders of OneBone, and we are joined by a very, very special man right here. In fact, some might say he's the biggest man of the month, Jesse Geneau. How are you, bud?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on here. I'm excited to get going here.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way we like to kick it off is we like to find out your height, your weight, what size you normally wear in a t-shirt, and what size you rock in OneBone.
Okay, so I'm 5'11". Right now I'm sitting at a hefty 295.
There you go. Under the 3. I like that.
Yeah, we broke the 3 finally. And I usually wear a 2 or 3 XL. I'm wearing a size 2 OneBone. Comfy stuff. I'm telling you. You know, Adam, I'm always talking to you about it.
Yes, sir. So listen, for those of you that don't know, listening to this or watching this, Jesse has recently had a great success, I would say, on TikTok, and what seems like sort of like an overnight success. I'm sure much like every overnight success, it was not the case. So Jesse, why don't you tell everybody sort of what that journey looked like, where you're at now, and where it all came from?
Yeah, I know. So growing up, I was always the bigger kid in the class. You know, a lot of people would call me the class clown. I had a lot of insecurities that I kind of dealt with through comedy. You know, so I would use comedy to mask some insecurities I had growing up. But I've always kind of been into the social media aspect too. I did YouTube a few years ago, tried to make it on that. When Vine was out, I was on Vine for a while. So I've always kind of been grinding on the side, trying to get into social media because I knew one day my humor would catch the attention of a large crowd. And last year, I think it was November 2019. So yeah, 2019, I started my TikTok journey. And at first, it was choppy. I was kind of finding myself as a creator. And just as I kept grinding and making videos, I finally started to find my niche and find my groove to where I was getting views and getting attention. And then, I kept going and going. And late last year, October 2020, I had the biggest year probably of my life. I went from, I had just hit 1 million in September. And then the month of October, I went from 1 million to 2.5 million in that month, right?
That's a small jump.
Yeah, just a little jump. No, yeah, that was a big jump for me, and that's when I started really taking this thing to the next level in terms of getting in touch with different people and collaborations and this and that. So, like you said, the overnight success. Then, obviously, I've been dabbling in social media for quite some time, but in terms of my actual success, I would say it's one of the closest things you can get to, I guess, quote unquote, an overnight success.
Cool. That's awesome, man. And you talk about, how as a younger kid, you were, let's say, labeled the class clown. I could definitely relate. And I always felt as though for big kids, you had 2 options. You either made fun of yourself or you got made fun of. Was that sort of the situation with you as a younger kid?
Yeah, I mean, I moved around quite a bit as a kid throughout Alberta. I lived in BC for a while, and I remember getting bullied and stuff as a kid for my size. I was always the bigger kid, and a lot of the times a lot of my friends would start being my friends because of the way I portrayed myself, and like you said, making fun of yourself and using yourself as a joke. And it's almost one of those things where I was making fun of myself before anyone else could. You know what I mean? Because what are you going to say that I already hadn't said about myself? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just there's a whole plethora of things that built me up to be the character I am today, the funny guy I am today, right? And that's one of the biggest things was getting made fun of as a kid and trying to mask the embarrassment with my own comedy. And another big thing was when I was 10 years old, I lost my dad in a car accident. So, I mean, that was a tough thing to deal with, right? I coped with it in negative ways growing up, but I always seen the light through comedy. So it's always kind of been my backbone, my crutch.
And do you feel, and I relate on so many levels. Using comedy is always sort of like our scapegoat, let's say. Like, mental health obviously is such a huge topic of conversation nowadays.
Yeah.
And especially in the one bone community, there are so many men who talk about, the way they're far more comfortable and confident now in wearing one bone gear, but they've had to come a long way to be able to achieve that. Is that something that, with the comedy outlet, is it like a mask or a band-aid, or it's like actually a real fix for you? Because I know for some it kind of hides it, but doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily make it all go away,
You know, that's a good question. At first, I kind of used it as a mask and a band-aid to shelter myself and feel some sort of special because, I was getting bullied a lot. But when I made people laugh, I felt like I was the guy that people liked, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, growing up, it was definitely, it kind of switched as I got older. I started not to care as much of what people thought about me, and comedy just became a way of life, and it became my identity. And yeah, I think from there I just ran with it and feeling really good lately. I get like we talked about, I got millions of supporters who follow me and take care of me and remind me that I'm special and that I'm good at what I do, right?
Yeah.
And then to top it all off, I find a brand like One Bone that just boosts the confidence even more, right? I mean, you don't lie when you say it'll change your life, man. It's all I wear. I mean, to be quite honest. And the
I
days
mean,
I don't wear it, it's not the same. I put on a Nike. I'm not trying to bash anyone. I put on a Nike shirt the other day. It was a little short for me. I raised my hands. My belly came out. I was a little uncomfortable, so I threw on the old Michael. You know what I mean?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
so, you brought up the millions of followers. So again, just to put it into perspective, you're now at over 3 million followers on TikTok, correct?
Yeah, I predict we hit 3.1 million by tomorrow or the day after. Actually,
Let's go.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
So the thing,
unreal.
yeah, the thing about TikTok is you go through algorithms, right? Just like anything. So 1 month I can be the most viral creator on the app and gain 2 million followers, and the next month I can put out videos that get 250,000, 500,000 views, and we kind of just we work our way through those moments. And some people, it's the internet, so people are going to talk. Some people begin to doubt you and say, "Oh, your views are down, you're falling off." But I mean, it's happened to me 4 or 5 times, and I've never stopped, and I've always had my plateaus, and I've always had my ups and my downs.
Sure.
So I just let the people talk, and I let the videos do their work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And so, with so many people behind you now, again, like you said, there was a great portion of overnight success type of thing. But
Absolutely.
speaking to all the content creators out there and speaking to all the people who have, been trying to break through on Instagram or YouTube or just trying to create something that has a little bit of an impact, I always sort of believe that it doesn't matter if you have 3 million followers or 3 people following you, as long as you're doing something that you love and you're passionate
The,
about it and you're shedding that light onto, like I said, 1 or 1 million people, it has the same sort of value to you, right? So to all the people out there who have 1 follower or 10 followers, and you're talking about a low month and having like 250,000 views, there are people who get
exactly.
like 25 views and they feel it. What do you say
Yeah.
to those guys who are getting those sort of low numbers, and how to push through that, or how to maybe not even let it impact you so much?
Right. Right. So I really like that question too because I get a lot of messages of people saying, "Hey, listen, Jess, like how can I grow on this app? Like I just want to get my art out there. I want to get my voice out there." And one of the big things I say is, listen, just stay consistent. And like you said, Adam, do something that you love to do because you know what they say: if you do something you love to do, you never work a day in your life. So I just think that if you do something you love and you're passionate about, and you're not doing it for money and all this other jazz, eventually money will come if it's for you, if it's the right thing, right? Just do something that you feel like will help someone or something that helps you cope, and don't make it about the fame and the money. Just at the end of the day, stay consistent. Do you? The views are going to be low. The views are going to be high. Sometimes you'll get no views. Sometimes you'll get 100,000, a million views, whatever it may be. My main piece of advice is just stay consistent. Do something you like to do, and be yourself. Don't try to be something you're not because it'll
Yeah.
never work for you.
Now, with that sort of following and with, I'm sure, other brand collaborations and stuff like that, you know, for so many people, they think like once you get that following, it's like life is made, you know, like you're all
Yeah.
good. I have friends who have become sort of YouTube famous and had this like major rise in popularity and tons of people following them. But at the end of the day, it didn't look like all that much, let's say, you know, from a living perspective.
Mhm.
Is it starting to kind of create a balance for you? Are you starting to jump over that threshold and it being sustainable for you, or it's still a grind?
I mean, it's still a grind right now with TikTok and everything. So the videos I make, we up here in Canada, we don't get a CPM. We don't get paid per view.
Right.
Whereas in America, they're getting a certain or a certain I think it's a certain cent value per view, 1,000 view or something.
Right.
But yeah, we don't get that up here. So all the videos I put out is, there's no revenue coming from them. This is all just something I love doing. I don't think about it as much as a full-time job. I still work a full-time job outside of TikTok and social media in that aspect. So right now, I don't think it's fully sustainable. However, I have had good months doing lives and starting up like the a merch brand for my slogan and all that
Yeah.
that have definitely made it feel sustainable in that time. But it's just one of those things where there's no security in it, right? So one month I can do really well, and the next month I can do nothing,
Right.
essentially. You know what I mean? Which is fine by me, because as long as I'm making my videos and getting the comments and messages and smiles and all this stuff, then going to work my shift work job up here in Alberta is no big deal to me, because I know I'll be coming back, and hopefully, one day I can make it a full-time gig. I would like to get into comedy more and stand up scene a little bit and see what I can do in there. But for now, I like where I'm at, and I enjoy the people I talk to. It was a pleasure to meet you. I've met some crazy people who I never thought I would talk to. So, I mean, I'm to be honest, Adam, man, I'm having fun with it, and
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, man. Life's been a blessing.
That's a beautiful thing. And you mentioned your slogan, and your slogan is "I need answers." And so
Yeah.
for those of you that haven't seen Jesse's videos on TikTok, basically it's a series of questions that you're asking yourself in the mirror and you need answers to. Give a few examples of maybe your favorite questions that you need answers to.
Okay, some of my favorites. It's hard to recreate it without the music and everything,
Sure.
Adam. You know that, but I ask brain teasing questions. Something that you got to think of, like, so some are silly, some are really brain teasers. Can you slam a revolving door? Can you stand backwards on a flight of stairs?
Yeah.
Like things like that. Like, if you think about it, can you stand backwards on a flight of stairs? Because if you're standing backwards, you're either going down or up, right?
Right.
Just things like that, man. And I've always kind of had that mindset too growing up. Just silly stuff that people don't think of, but when you think of it, you're like, wait, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And you know better than anyone, Adam. If you watch my videos, the questions are great, but I think it's the energy and the music and the way I come up to the mirror that also adds some sort of comedic aspect to the whole.
It's the breathing, it's the choking, it's the whole thing, man. It's really a masterpiece when it all comes together,
It's fun, man. I really enjoy doing it.
Yeah. You mentioned stand-up. Would your stand-up routine sort of be a derivative of your TikTok videos?
I think there would be bits and parts in there just to remind myself and people where I came from. But
Right.
I think I could also write some jokes. Just growing up and all the stuff I said, I feel like I could write a good little set and have fun with it. So you never know. Maybe one day you'll see me on stage, Adam.
Well, listen, I mean, pandemic aside, we do this thing called the biggest day every year to celebrate our anniversary, and which is like June 27th. So our sort of vision for that has always been, almost like a community talent show type thing. So whenever we get out of this pandemic, we know we need to see you on stand up.
Oh man, even we've talked about it before, man. I would love to come to the headquarters and even kick it with you and the team and just hang out, man. And you guys seem like such great people. And I told you before, I love the mindset behind the brand, right? I love what you guys do, what you guys stand for. And I just love what you guys produce. It's crazy, man. I'm seriously a fan, like a big fan of what you guys do.
Well, we're a fan of you, and man, once the pandemic is done, there would definitely be chills.
Yes,
I
sir.
want to sort of go back, curl back to childhood for a second,
But
and even adult life as well. What sort of struggles did you have in terms of shopping? Because that's how One Bone came to be for us. I couldn't find anything in a mall or anything like that that fit properly and looked trendy.
Mhm.
And if it looked trendy, it didn't fit at all. And if it fit me, it didn't look good. So how
Yeah.
was your sort of like shopping experience, and how did you get creative with what you were wearing?
So, growing up and shopping with my friend, I've always been, like I said, I was the big kid in the group or whatever. I was always the bigger fella in the group in
Yeah.
any situation. You know what I mean? So I grew up in West Edmonton, so we were always at the mall,
Yeah.
West Edmonton Mall, having a good time shopping. And I remember my friends buying all these cool, trendy clothes that looked good on them, and then they would ask me, why aren't you shopping? And I'm like, oh, it's just, I would make little excuses like, I just can't, I don't like it very much or whatever. But at the end of the day, I wasn't shopping because they didn't hold size 2 or 3XL.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to touch base on that, even now, right? Like I'm still, I've lost quite a bit of weight in the past 7 or 8 months, but even so now, it's just going into shops and stuff. Nothing after trying on and wearing the one Bone brand, it's nothing. It's not the same, man. You guys have changed the game for me. I've built quite the collection of One Bone, so I have clothes for every day of the week. But I still go shopping, but I think I buy more so pants than shirts because I got enough of my One Bone shirts. As you can see, I'm wearing the Michael right now.
Yeah, just
But
until we start making pants.
when the pants come, I am still. If you guys made shoes, I would wear them.
Yeah. and
But
so
no, yeah.
tell me about that first experience. Well, so we reached out to you, funny enough, but you had already heard about us through a friend. So
Yeah, I have.
what was your story with One Bone?
So I was scrolling Facebook a little while ago, and I seen one of your guys' ads on Facebook. It was just came up on my timeline, and I'm like, I kind of looked into it. I read the comments, and I noticed, and I seen your slogan on there, and I clicked in, and I started looking through the clothes, and I seen the models wearing the clothes, and they looked comfy. So some of the models are bigger gentlemen, so I seen how they look so sleek in these clothes, and I'm like, oh man, I got to get my hands on some of that. And I always thought about it. I have a friend here in town who I was going to the gym with for a while, and I noticed he was wearing like this nice tank top, and I'm like, man, that looks really good. And he was telling me like about the One Bone brand more, and I'm like, this brand is everywhere. I was like, I need to figure it out. All right, these guys are. But then, to my surprise, you guys hit me up on Instagram, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, no chance. Funny how everything falls into place. And then, ever since then, we've had a really good relationship as friends. And it's just been crazy, man. Like the way you guys have reinvented the whole big boy clothing game. It's not, it's not just for the larger gentlemen. You can wear smaller sizes and it still looks sleek and so nice on the smaller fellas too, right? It's just a great brand, man. I talk very highly of you guys.
Yeah. Well, man, we appreciate it so much. Like what for you is the defining sort of like fit and fabric definition with One Bone? Like the first day you got that first package, you put it on, what was the feeling? What was the fit like?
Oh man, right when I put it on, I noticed the sleeves were tighter around the arms, which I loved because it makes you feel more confident. It looks better on a bigger guy. I noticed when I lifted my hands up, my belly didn't show. And just the way it falls and it like defines kind of your upper chest and shoulders makes you feel good, but it also gives you a little breathing room down by the belly. So it just meant you found the formula and you acted on it and you did something magical. I have no words, I can explain it as best as I can, but until you put this kind of clothing on, you don't understand. Even the beanies they're warm, they're comfortable. I'm at a loss for words, man.
Man.
This doesn't happen. I've worn so many brands, right? I'm like I've always been a brand name clothing guy. I wear everything, and everything either always shrinks in the dryer or is just not the right fit in one way or another. You can get a nice fitting shirt up here, but it's always loose on the arms or something. This one just all around works. It works for me.
Well, like you
Love it.
said, man, we found the right formula and we just kept driving it forward, and much the same like what you did on TikTok. You know, you found the one thing, the recipe that worked for you and
Yeah,
for the consumer as well, and you just kept pushing it, and like you said, we're all really blessed because we're just doing things that we love, and we're very fortunate that
exactly.
there's so many people that love what we're doing, you know?
100%, man.
Yeah.
You guys are great, and you know, I feel the love from your end too. I know you guys are always keeping an eye on me. Because I know I see you guys in the like feed a lot there on Instagram, and
Yes, sir.
it's always, you know, I appreciate everything and everyone. I try not to refer to my followers as fans, and I try not to use the word quote unquote famous or whatever too much, just
Yeah.
because it's not that I don't want to feel those things, but it's more so I like all my followers individually,
Yeah.
but you always get those people who are very loyal and who've been around for a while, and you see their like in the little like feed, and I always see like one bone. There's a couple other guys who I see there, and I'm just like, man, I like seeing
Man,
that like.
they're just real likes. Like, bro, your
Yeah,
stuff is just too funny, and it puts you in a good mood, you know? Like it's so you're so obviously not taking yourself seriously, yet
yeah,
taking what you do seriously, you know?
yeah,
And it's just a
exactly.
beautiful thing, man. And you mentioned you lost your father at a young age.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so bouncing from 10 years old to now, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 24.
24. And
Yeah.
you're also a dad.
I am a dad. Yes, sir.
So how does that sort of traumatic experience, help you as a father now? Because, I've seen you with your daughter, and it's just, you're like the king of all dads. So how does that impact, your life nowadays?
Yeah, man. Growing up, I was very involved in my dad's life as he was in mine. You know, there was times where I wouldn't see him for an extended period of time as a kid for different issues. But yeah, I was, you know, he was a great dad. I was very involved in, and when he passed away, it was devastating for me and the whole family, really,
Mm,
because you know, he was the only, you know, thing we had in our life, like man wise, right? Like a lot of other people weren't around. So when he passed away, we didn't really have a father figure. So my mom and everything kind of had to be mom and dad.
yeah.
So um, yeah, I mean, growing up, it was traumatic. And as you get older, you start to understand and grasp the concept of death more and stuff like that. And you start to understand, because when you're 10 years old, man, to be completely honest, you don't really understand what's going
Sure.
on when you hear someone passed away. But yeah, I mean, I try to be the best that I can. Obviously, we all have flaws and stuff that we work out, but it's just all part of being a parent. But I think the main thing with my daughters, I just want to, you know, be there whether it's in my control or not, right? So I try to be as safe as I can day to day and stay alive so that I can have a good relationship with my daughter and grow up with her, because I didn't have that. You know, not by choice, but I didn't
Yeah,
have that growing up
for
because
sure.
you know, I lost my dad at a young age. But
Yeah.
that's pretty much the outlining thing is, you know, I'm just trying to stay healthy. Like I said, I lost a bunch of weight recently. Yeah, you know that, Adam. So
Yeah.
I've been
Well,
trying to stay
I
healthy
wanted
and
to
stuff.
ask you about that also, because I myself have been trying to lose weight as well, as so many of the One Bone community are always trying to do. Look, the t-shirt, it makes us feel better. It makes us feel more confident. But at the end of
Right.
the day, we always want to feel healthier as well.
That's right.
Um,
That's right.
and for myself, I got married 3 years ago and I lost a ton of weight.
Mm.
And my goal for losing that weight wasn't to look good in a tux. It was actually because, we had intentions of becoming parents and growing a family. And I wanted to be healthy for my future kids. And now I'm a father also of a 9-month-old girl. And I
Mm.
found myself, at the beginning of December at the biggest I ever was. And I was like, man, like I didn't meet up with the goal that I had actually set out for myself. So starting December, tried to keep it low cal, tried to get my steps in, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've been losing a good amount of weight, but I want to know more about your weight loss experience, because I think you did it the right way. And I want to know more about that.
Yeah. No, I'm glad to tell you, man. I posted it. I posted a TikTok about it a while ago. Like this was even when I was heavier than I am now, and I kind of just wanted to express myself and show my followers that anything's possible. So I put up a video of kind of some of my struggles during. I think at that time I was 4 months into a weight loss.
Right.
But yeah, I put that up, and I had a lot of people asking about it. So I'm glad you asked. But so I think it was July 1st, last 2020. I stepped on the scale, and I was weighing in at, I think I was 371 pounds.
Was that the biggest
So
you ever were?
that was by far the biggest, man. I looked at the scale. I looked at myself in the mirror, man. I was emotional, and I just wasn't happy with the person looking back. I felt unhealthy. You know, I was waking up every morning feeling like I was hungover, even if I didn't drink. I just felt like terrible. So, I made the change. It happened gradually over a couple of weeks. It takes a minute to try to get into a routine, but I lost my first 30 pounds in 2.5 months, I think, which sounds fast, but I was working so hard in the gym, and I was eating like a rabbit. I was eating clean,
right,
lean protein, everything. And then from there, you know, obviously you have ups and downs, you plateau and stuff. You eat bad one day, you just can't let it reflect the next. So I kept going and going. And like I said, I was 371 and I'm 295 now. So I've almost lost 80 pounds since July 1st, right? So what are we looking at? 7 months or whatever.
6-7 months.
Yeah. So, I mean, it all comes down to how bad you want it and how much dedication you have. One thing I can say to anybody who's listening who wants to lose weight is, don't be discouraged if you have a bad day, because a lot of the time people discourage themselves if they have a bad day and go out and eat burgers and whatever and candy. But the worst thing you can do is discourage yourself and then continue on that unhealthy pattern. What you got to do is just, you know, eat bad that one day, get it over with. The next day, get back to where you were. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't be too hard on yourself, because it happens. You know, I eat pretty good during the week, and then I have one day a week where I'll go out and get my McDonald's or whatever I want. You know what I mean? It's just a part of it. And if you don't do it, I feel like, well, for me anyway, if I wasn't having a cheat meal a week, it would definitely hinder my progress, because you need that, right? It's a part of life.
Do you feel like crap after that cheat meal?
Sometimes, yeah. It depends what I eat, man. Lately, my cheat meals haven't been too bad. I've been eating like sushi and stuff because I do like it. But if I go out and get some KFC or something, man, I'm on the toilet.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, man, honestly, I appreciate your time. First of all, I appreciate you being a part of the One Bone family.
Yeah, I got love for you guys, man. You know that. That.
And sharing your childhood, sharing your weight loss journey, sharing, you know, your little nuances of what success is for you, and with, you know, your incredible followers and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, it resonates so much because you're not talking about the fame. You're not talking about how, like, oh my God, 3 million people following you. You're talking about how each one of their comments makes you smile, and each one of the interactions with you and your followers. And like you said, you don't even like to call them followers. Same thing for us, like One Bone, we're a family, you know? So we know the feeling of like getting to share on these people's journeys. And I'm just so happy for you. And like you said, we've created a great friendship here, and I'm excited for the One Bone community to learn more about you, the person behind the mirror that needs the answers. Just overall, thank you. You're the first biggest man of the month. We wanted to try and do something where we highlight guys, and you're the first, and you've got 3 million followers, but it's really cool because we're going to be talking to people who are doctors or who have experienced, you know, overcoming something incredible with, you know, no followers to speak of. So we're really excited to get to uncover more of these stories of the One Bone family. And where could people find you? Where could people message you? Where could people follow you and see I Need Answers?
So the best platform, if you want to get in touch with me, would be Instagram. That's Jesse, JESSE _Geneau, GENEAU. And then my TikTok is Jesse and then Joseph Geneau. So that's where you can find me. I try to respond as much as I can on Instagram. That's where Adam got a hold of me. So
Yep.
you never know. But and you know what? The thing about it goes vice versa for me too. You know, I'm excited to actually get the chance to work with you guys and not just be, you know, a friend. Like, I want to introduce your guys' brand to my platform because I think you guys hold such a positive message. And I know it's been taking some time, but I'm excited to get off the ground with you guys and figure something out and get going and you know, make people more confident and happy, because if I can be a part of that, then you know I will.
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful thing. And, you know, like we probably said in that first message, honestly, if you want to share, if not, it's just important to us to see guys like yourself feeling really confident and really comfortable in what they're wearing, and that's what's the most important to us. And so you could check out all of our stuff on onebone.com or Instagram, Facebook at onebone brand. If you need help with sizing, we're always in the DMs ready to rock. All we really need to know is your t-shirt size, your height, and your weight, and we'll let you know what size to wear in Onebone. And
I thought you were a magician, man. When I sent you my t-shirt size, height, and weight, you sent me a box. And listen, guys, I'm not lying. This guy, he's some sort of wizard or something, because he sent me something that just fit on this body perfectly. So take his word for it. Take his word for it. It's
keep
amazing.
in mind, it's not just the big guys; it's for everybody. We are
For
literally
everyone.
made for
For everyone,
everybody.
Well, it shows that on the too, right? You see some of the smaller models, and they look fabulous in this clothes.
Yeah, I was speaking with
If I had to
somebody
say-
on another podcast actually, and he was talking to me. He's like, "Yeah," I'm like, "Yeah." So, like, what size t-shirt do you normally wear? You probably wear like a medium, and what are you, like? You're 5'8", probably like 165, 170. He's like, "Man, are you a wizard? Like, how did you just figure that out?" I'm like, "Man, I look at a lot of bodies."
Man. You can just look at someone and know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I would highly recommend any of the Michaels. The long sleeves are unbelievable. I really like the Nutristans they put out. I like the Scoop t-shirt. I like everything you guys do, man. There's not one piece I don't wear, to be honest. I just got the quilt scoops too. Those are phenomenal. You know, I've been asking you about those for a while, Adam.
No doubt. And watch out, 2021, we're gonna get the Jesse.
Oh, dude, I'm waiting for the Jesse. That'll make my life.
Yeah, that is going to happen. Like, it's documented right here, right now. It's gonna happen.
Yes, sir. I'm manifest. That'd be a blessing. I would love that.
Yes, sir.
I love that.
Well, again, man, thank you for your time, and keep doing what you do best, man. Make people laugh, make people smile, and just have fun doing it.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you so much, Adam. Thank you for having me on here, dude.
My pleasure.